What's good, YouTube? It's your boy Dev back again for another list video. All right, another list, another year down. As always, I'm late as fuck, but what's really new? I had a crazy last 3 months of 2021. I was on vacation, literally probably the whole last 3 months. So I was going through a lot, man. Not going through a lot, but like I was, handling a lot. Kind of just getting my end of the year trips away before I got on my grind back in 2022. So happy 2022, happy New Year's, Merry Christmas to all of you guys. For the ones that I miss, you guys know how this goes. I do my list videos, and I think this year, last year, first of all, last year was a great year for music. Before we even start this list, last year was a great year for music. If you had me in the second half, if you had me in the first half, I'm not gonna lie, was a meme in music, was in music form. That was 2021 because the year started off so slow, and then we probably had one of the best years in music in 2020, in music in 2021, and towards the end, that second half was just amazing, man, with all the big drops that we got from the big names. I gotta say, man, I usually don't like this video. I like all my other shits, my top slow coming, honorable mentions, top songs, best albums, but I honestly hate to do this one. I may stop, I may not, but because I feel like this is all opinionated at the end of the day. Worst albums of 2021. That's just kind of just really opinionated, because, one man's trash is another man's treasure. That's why that saying is kind of there. For me, man, though, these albums, I would have to say, are the worst albums to me. All right. Remember when I say that they're the worst albums to me. And again, I mean, no ill will to the artist as a person. And it's not personal. It's all about the music. Remember that. So, I'm going to start with the honorable mention. I didn't want to do an honorable mentions for worst albums, but this kind of rode the line of worst album for me and actually kind of just regular. And it was probably, I wouldn't even say it's the worst album. I would say it is the most disappointing album of 2021, and that would be Who Is Nardo Wick by Nardo Wick. I thought that this was a very potential high album. I've done 2 Meami Mondays on Nardo, man. I'm very proud of where he's, gotten to, and as soon as he did the Lyrical Lemonade with 21 Savage, Lil Durk, that track right there, I knew it was his time at that point, and for him to kind of make a big buzz in 2021, probably going to be on the next XXL list. Or actually, was he on the last XXL? I think he was on the last XXL list. But for him to kind of just finally establish himself in the music industry, I thought that this album was going to be that album. I always say your debut album is one of those albums that have to be. It kind of defines your career in a sense. People are always gonna go back to that original album, or they're always going to bring up that album, especially now in today's kind of straightforward, focused society. Man, everybody is going to judge you based on your first album, and I think that the first album was more of a letdown than the worst album. There was definitely some good tracks on there, but for the most part, I thought it was rather long. I thought it was, very similar. Nothing kind of, there's no variety in it. Not saying I want him to sing or anything, but there was just nothing in the album that gave me that pizzazz, that gave me that like, wow, like this is that album that hits. You can still sound the same. I say a similar artist that you guys don't know that I listen to is SG. SG for the most part sounds the same in like every single track, but it's just how he presents himself and how he actually knows how to make a great track sound good, is what's the difference for me. I think Nardo Wick has a lot of potential. I just don't think that this album is it. Not saying that it is a worst album, but I'm just gonna say it is the most disappointing album for me in 2021. The next album I have to say is Unbothered by Lil Skies. Lil Skies, let me say it, Lil Skies. That album was terrible. I'm happy for Lil Skies, being a father recently. Welcome to fatherhood, and for him to kind of make his return after taking a little hiatus. I get that, man. I understand. Everybody has to take their breaks. Everybody has to do what they do. But just like Mace said, just like Kanye said, don't leave on top. That's how Mace screwed up. I'm always going to say that, man. It is always about your time and your place on, just like the stock market, bro. It's always about the timing. Everything is about timing in today's world. It's always been about timing. And for Lil Skies, I think he was doing shit with Landon Cube. You remember Cuff Boys? He was doing stuff with Landon. He was kind of just doing his damn thing about 3 years ago, and then he took his little hiatus and little break. He's still going to have. I'm not saying he's broke by any means. I'm not saying that he's irrelevant. I'm just saying that for him to have all the buzz that he had, kind of getting away from it, and now coming back, it's kind of just like, damn, that album was it was trash. It was terrible. There was probably one track I liked there that was okay, but no pun intended, because OK was probably the worst song that I heard on it. That OK track was so terrible. It did make my worst tracks of 2021. I think Lil Skies just has a identity issue for me. Every time I listen to him, I don't know what he's trying to do or who he's trying to sound like, or who does he take, homage from. I don't know what he's doing. Honestly, I just think it's just kind of music that I just kind of blow by and I really don't listen to. So Lil Skies is my second worst album of the year. The third, Fighting Demons by Juice WRLD. I don't know if you guys listened to the album. It's not more so that the album was bad sonically. I already explained it in my Juice WRLD review. I think that it's just out of touch. A lot of people got mad at me because they said that I'm insensitive to the fact that Juice WRLD has passed away, and I'm a demon, I'm a satanic kind of guy because I don't give a fuck about what he's saying. I'm laughing at him in videos, but in reality, I'm just laughing at what the labels are doing because they're so insensitive, and it's actually pretty funny. They're so insensitive to out of touch from like Juice WRLD to his fan base, and understand that people are still grieving even after 2 years. And for them to drop the Post-Hummus album and to kind of just make tracks like Doom, and there's another track, Already Dead. There's a couple other tracks where yes, it's kind of glorifying his drug addiction, which is a lot of Juice WRLD music. I understand that, but for 3,000 tracks unreleased, supposedly, quote unquote, for them to have that many tracks, in the chamber, and for Bibby or whoever the labels or whoever's deciding, Allie, I don't know who deciding at the end of this day. It doesn't really matter. But for whoever's making the track selection choices, I feel like you just gotta do a little bit of a better job, man. You gotta do a better job at understanding who your audience is, and understanding what the climate is, and understanding that people are still sad and people are still grieving. And yes, you want to make money, fine, but choose some tracks that are not like directly, basically, explaining the situation, like, yo, I took drugs, I gotta edit that out probably because they're gonna flag me. But when it gets to that, it's just like, I don't understand how you could drop this and not really realize the situation at hand. I mean, it kind of shows in some insensitivity, and also shows a lack of empathy for the fan base that are providing you funds still for these Post-Hummus albums. So that's kind of just how I feel about that, man. Fighting Demons, more of a concept failure rather than a sonical failure for me for the worst album. Boy Abide 2 by Smiley. Now, I have not listened to this album yet. This is more of a joke than anything, but I'm gonna let y'all know right now, I know that shit is ass, all right? I'm literally telling y'all right now, when we do the live reaction on Twitch, I'm letting y'all know that future dev or past dev is saying that this album is ass. All right, so if I'm wrong, I'll die on that hill. Or if I'm wrong and I enjoy that shit, then I enjoy that shit. But I must say, you man, after we heard Smiley, all right, y'all know exactly what Smiley is doing. It's more of the flamboyant kind of slang for me. I understand that's Toronto slang, but you don't gotta talk like that. It's kind of crazy, the memes that went around when he dropped a track with Drake, and for him to drop a track with Drake and for it to still not be crazy. I don't know if Smiley's put on it yet or not. Maybe his time is coming in 2022. I'm just saying, man. I'm just premeditated. Premeditated trash is what that shit probably is. I'm just saying like that. The next two, it's only two more on here, so it's not really too much to go into. Just two more. I don't want to be too mean. Vigilant by YBN and Amir. Probably the greatest ratio. It's crazy, man. Kids are so young nowadays that they think ratio is all about YBN Namir, when they're not really realizing that ratio is just means ratio, like the likes to dislike ratio. People thought I was talking about ratio when I did the comment. If you guys go to the YBN Namir, Soul Train, obviously probably one of the worst tracks of all year, and you go look at the comment section right there. I'm right there, and I said, what a ratio. I wasn't trying to ratio him. I was just saying that this is a ratio. I believe the dislikes were at like 900,000 and the likes were at like 10K. It was something crazy, bro. I've been on YouTube now for 7 years. I've been a consumer of YouTube for 8 years. I've been doing YouTube for 6 years. And to kind of see that ratio, man, I've never seen a ratio like that. That's actually insane, ridiculous ratio that I've never seen. And it's kind of crazy, man. And for some people that are just like, why are you looking at your like counter, bro? I'm on a lot of videos. I get literally notified every single time somebody comments on my shit. So it's always there, bro. Like, I always am notified about my comments because I can't just be a regular motherfucking YouTube consumer without somebody saying, hey, Dev, why are you here? Why are you here, Dev? Why are you here? I don't know. I'm just watching a music video just like y'all. Anyways, YBN the Mirror album was just pure terrible, man. I'm glad that a negative turned into a positive, though. I will say that. I'm glad that Soul Train was so ass that it got him the exposure and the intro back into basically a good number. In order to know something is trash, you have to listen to it. That's what people don't really realize. And negative publicity is good publicity. People don't really realize that either. So when you got this album, getting all the hate that it's getting, it's basically saying, hey, this album, this song is trash. This album is trash. Come listen to this trash album to see for yourself. And so it allows more people to buy, which numbers generate money. So I'm glad that a negative turned into a positive, because one thing I always say is, man, I never hate on a man's hustle, and you should definitely get your money how do you get your money, man. So for YBN the Mirror, I think that's a W. Even though it is the worst album for me in 2021, it is a W for YBN the Mirror for the numbers that he kind of, not saying the numbers that he did, but the YouTube numbers that he did. I think it's pretty. It's a pretty good situation. Better than all the rest. Just better than being ass and broke, really, right? Or ass and fail. You feel me? So the last album I would say on here is Lil Pump, No Name. I mean, did you hear? Did you hear the album? like that? It's just so trash. I feel like, man, Lil Pump, man, like, again, man, it's the same thing that I said about Lil Skies, but I think Lil Pump just took a too big of a break. I think Lil Pump just took too big of a break when he was on top. I always said, man, Lil Pump could do the numbers as long as he stayed relevant. And to stay relevant, man, you have to drop music. You can't be Kendrick Lamar, and you can't be out here J. Cole and waiting for 3 years to drop an album, or Frank Ocean, if you're not like that. And I think that's the problem, that Lil Pump is just not like that, it just, he took a little long to hiatus, and the album just felt lifeless. It really just felt lifeless, man. I think a lot of people are kind of now over. It was kind of funny and very memey, and I would listen to Gucci Gang 20 million times before I listened to that album, No Name, ever again. It just, I don't think that Lil Pump is, without the antics as well. I think that's what he didn't have. And for him to have no antics going into this album, look at Tekashi, man. Tekashi, as much as his music is sometimes in terms of a hype standpoint, Tekashi's antics also boost up the sales, and it allows him to stay relevant and to stay in the limelight. People don't really realize that. So, marketing is marketing 101. It's not just about how good your shit is, but how well you can market it. And I think that with Lil Pump, this album, it just felt like it was stuck in 2017, 2018, and that's exactly where it was at. He didn't level up. He didn't try anything different. Same, nursery rhyme, duck duck goose. The wheels on the bus go round and round type lyrics, man. It's just nursery rhyme ass rap, and I think that that's kind of just stuck in the past. Even look at somebody like Playboi Carti. Look at somebody like 21 Savage. Again, simple, but they've done different things both in their respective regards. As in Playboi Carti did the whole screaming rap punk shit, and then you got 21 who's just getting better beat selection and hopping on soul type beats, and also collabing with big names, every single year of his career. I think that's the problem with Lil Pump, man. He had no guidance, and he really didn't heed the call from J. Cole when J. Cole tried to, not sun him, but just basically give him some advice from an artist that has once upon a time been there. Respect your OGs. So I don't want to do too much shitting. I know y'all want this to make us a funny video, man, but for the most part, I just wanted to kind of just get a little light on what my worst albums of. It's really hard to be a bad album. I always say that, man. You have to have a literally terrible album for me to have a worse album. That's why I said Nardo Wick doesn't even belong on here, but it was more so just me saying that it's a disappointment than anything. But all these other albums on here, these 5 albums on here, I feel like they were even, like, I didn't even put NBA Youngboy on here. It goes to tell you, man. Like, it's really hard to have a bad album. You have to literally just drop straight Gooch Sweat for the whole year. That's just kind of just how I feel about that. So, that being said, man, get in the comment box below. Let me know what y'all worst album is of the year. Again, we got 5 more of these list videos to go. They will be coming out as the week goes on. And yeah, man, I just want to say I thank you guys for all 2021, what you guys done for me. It was a great year for me financially, and it was a great year for me as a creator. From Twitch all the way to YouTube, all the way to Patreon, all the way to TikTok, all the way to everything, man. Sponsorships, everything was a great year for me this year, or last year in 2021. So I want to say thank you from the bottom of my heart. It was a great year, and I thank y'all for that, man. So that being said, man, get in the comments below. Let me know what you think. Don't forget to follow me on social media when you're here. Until the next time, man. It's me, Dev. Till next time, we out. Peace.